Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator, and in this video, we're going to talk about something that's making a lot of headlines lately, and that is climate lockdowns. This is April 26, 2022, neonnettle.com, and a top global energy agency is demanding that governments mandate lockdowns to reduce oil use so countries can meet their climate goals. So the International Energy Agency has pounced on the opportunity by pushing its plans for nations to curb their oil use. They're calling for energy lockdowns and radical measures such as banning the use of private cars in cities on Sundays because, in a free world, why shouldn't the government mandate where you can go and what you can't do? So they have a 10-point plan to cut oil use, which includes reducing speed limits, working from home, cutting businesses, air travel, imposing an SUV tax. So this plan was revealed by Climate Depot and Mark Morano. He's on Alex Jones all the time, and he says that governments have all the necessary tools at their disposal to put oil demand into decline in the coming years, which would support efforts to both strengthen energy sector and achieve vital climate goals. Well, why do you need to strengthen the energy sector if you're not using it? Okay, that makes it irrelevant, is what it does. Other proposals in reducing highway speeds by 6 miles per hour, working from home, street changes to encourage walking and cycling, car-free Sundays in cities, and restrictions on other days, right? Not just on Sundays, but restrictions on other days. Cutting transit fares, policies that encourage more carpooling, businesses cutting air travel. I'm for businesses cutting air travel. I mean, I've been calling from go to meeting by just meeting with each other from the office using technology for years. They say the restriction of private cars in large cities, with even plate numbers on some weekdays and odd plate numbers on other weekdays. And it would the banning and the use of private cars on Sundays brings a number of additional benefits to public health and well-being. Oh, well, I thought we were talking about climate here. So, Mark, this is Mark Morano right here, and he says instead of opening America back up for domestic energy production, we are told to suffer and do less with the same failed lockdown style policies we endured for COVID. Yeah. He says it's odd how COVID solutions also allegedly help the climate, and now the same solutions are being touted to deal with Russia's invasion of Ukraine. So, he says the proposed solutions are always exactly the same: hammer the poor and the middle class with more restrictions on travel, less freedom, and even more surrendering of power to unelected government regulators. The Hill, now they had an article on February 2nd, 2022, and they just here, they state in November, the Red Cross proclaimed that climate change is a bigger threat than COVID and should be confronted with the same urgency. The Red Cross, don't they just respond to disasters? But when you're funded by the people that want you out sending out this message, you're going to deliver it. So Bill Gates recently demanded dramatic measures to prevent climate change, claiming it will be worse than the pandemic. Oh, okay. Is that the same Bill Gates? And this is the same UN too that has refused the solutions the world needs since shortly after November 93, Bill Gates for a decade or more now. Okay, Bill Gates could have already made a huge difference just by ending our disposable society. You know how much transportation that would cut down? That we wouldn't really be caring what, people are doing in their own private cars. Right. And are we talking about Bill Gates's and Buddy's private jets? Funny, I don't see that in any of these articles about lockdown. Just your minimal, you know, car use to try to live a life and have some fun on top of, going to work to pay the bills. So this is, a lockdown on the people. I have been telling people since the Hunger Games that this is exactly where they're taking you. you know the United Nations agenda, whatever, year after year they put out new ones, but there's distinct little regions, just like the Hunger Games, with vast spaces of just restored land in between them, and the people are starving and the people have nothing. And then what they have to look forward to is the yearly drawing for to go watch to see, who survives a bloodbath. And this is exactly where they're taking you. And Infowars, they have a they have this article out here from April 27th, and Greg Reese, they have one of his videos, and that's exactly what he says is happening. Not in the exact same words, but it truly is. And he says, the people, they have proven that they will comply. People be, no, this would never happen. No, the people have proven they'll comply. They'll put the mask on, as Greg says, they'll put the mask on when they're told to, and when they're allowed to take it off, they'll celebrate it as a victory. And that people have proven that. So people will be going along with this. It's that's how we've gotten this far along in the process. But for Bill Gates to be out there screaming for solutions now, is anybody talking about hemp? Okay, we could have, just by getting us on hemp, not really been too worried about oil use or oil supply, because everything that's made from oil can be made from hemp. Okay, including powering your cars. Okay, so and just ending our disposable society and getting people to live responsibly would have absolutely, achieved what Bill Gates is demanding that now we need dramatic measures for. That's ridiculous, but that's, Bill Gates. And will he do anything here? He could, have gotten Seattle and then every other stadium in the world to be leading with reusable concessions, right? He could be getting out of his private plane. Do you see him doing that? No, funny, that's not anywhere in here. Nowhere is about the rich getting off their yachts or getting off of their private planes. Right? No, no. So, this here article in the Hill says, what would a lockdown look like? Well, during the early days of the pandemic, Americans worked from home. This could become the permanent norm if special carbon taxes are put in place, right? They're going to carbon tax you to death too, as if people aren't poor enough. Right? If you dare think about emitting a bit of carbon, we're going to carbon tax you to death. They could be imposed on companies, limiting driving or air miles, extended to individual employees, drive to work. You'll get hit with the tax. Children could be impacted. Schools, especially those heavily influenced by teachers' unions, could improve permanent online only days. So they say that Delhi, India is already using a version of this concept to crack down on smog pollution. Well, yeah, they do have a huge pollution over there, but That doesn't mean tyranny. That doesn't mean we can't have our freedoms. That doesn't mean that we can't live. We can live responsibly, but no environmental voice. Nobody that's calling for these dramatic measures has given you the solutions the world needs since November of '93. So, and anyone who argues against such measures could be labeled a climate denier who stands against process, or simply a domestic terrorist. Because, I mean, how dare you, right? How dare you? Um, Defectors likely won't have much choice anyway. Facial recognition and plate reading software, coupled with impressive scope of drones, could lead to severe enforcement. Oh, yeah. Don't like the restrictions put on your gas guzzler? The government could easily track its location and send automatic tickets, or worse, right? It's the ability for officials to depend on significant minority of zealous supporters to enforce measures is invaluable. That's right. How many COVID Karens justify their fascination by contrasting themselves with the uneducated rural Donald Trump supporters? Just right. All the Karens out there, but don't expect the rules to apply equally to everyone. No. During the pandemics, the elites didn't wear the masks in private. Only their servers, drivers, or cleaners did, right? But you will be held responsible for your personal carbon footprint enforced by either social or law or social convention. But climate evangelists like Jeff Bezos or climate czar John Kerry will receive special dispensations for their carbon use. Yeah, they're going to keep living. They're going to keep eating beef. Now, right here, Natural News, they did an article, but that article really, honestly, is talks about this video right here that Greg Reese did, but right here on May 2nd, 2022, this banned network, says the international agency demands worldwide lockdowns to meet climate goals. So they just put out this article. To be blunt, the ordinary, hard-working man and woman is being brainwashed to believe that the planet is heading for disaster. It's their fault. They must change their behavior in order to save the world. But this couldn't be farther from the truth. That's why these people won't even expose all of the fraudulent environmental voices who won't allow this, because they just are just so. Climate change isn't real. Global warming is not real. Doesn't matter. We can trash the planet. No, like, I believe in sustainability, but they won't go and promote it. They won't even expose all these voices to help shut them up. Okay. So it says here that one example of this lie is that ordinary men and women are the reason plastic is polluting our seas. And now in McDonald's, oh my God, you are forced to use one of the worst inventions ever to grace the planet, the paper straw. No, you're not. You know what? You can drink right from the cup and not use a straw. There you go. There you go. So, they say, but the straws aren't the problem. Well, you know what? Straws are irresponsible. They're a convenience that is conveniencing us out of a livable planet. They use oil, okay? They're manufactured, they're packaged, they come in their own, either plastic or paper packaging around it so that it's protected. No one else touched your straw when you put it on your lips or put it in your drink. So, they're a disposable product that really just shouldn't be here. They aren't the problem, but they are a problem, just like our whole disposable society. They say the real problem is lost and abandoned fishing gear, which is true. There's a lot of that out there, but they want the ordinary man and woman to believe it's us who needs to change. It's big business that needs to change. So The interesting thing about the International Energy Agency, it was founded in 1974, to prevent physical disruptions in the supply of oil. Oh, okay. And now they're going to lock down countries because of global warming. That's not what they're supposed to be doing. But once a government agency gets formed, it then expands, and then it just takes over. And in the decades since, its role has expanded to cover the entire global energy system, encompassing traditional energy sources such as oil, gas, coal, as well as cleaner and faster growing ones like solar photovoltaics and wind power and biofuels. So, the IEA, International Energy Agency, they just want to take control and to make it so that you really can't breathe. They have a 10-point program, reduce speeds limits on highways by at least 10 kilometers, 6 miles per hour, make public transportation cheaper, incentivize micro mobility, walking and cycling, car-free Sundays in large cities, work from home, possible up to 3 days a week, where possible. Alternate private car use in large cities, use car sharing and practices that decrease fuel use, promote efficient use of freight trucks in goods and delivery. Well, how about if we just ended all our disposable society? We wouldn't be having all those deliveries. Hasten adoption of electric and more efficient vehicles. Those right now are absolutely no better. Avoid business travel when alternatives exist. Right. Go to meeting without going to meeting. It's, at some point, it's true, a lot of business gets done not at these meetings, but at the cocktail hours. And, person to person interaction is important, but a lot of business travel really can be done with Zoom meetings and conferences and whatnot. And prefer high speed and night trains. Yeah, to planes when possible. So, yeah, go take that night train. So, in the UK, they've written into law zero emissions by 2050. They're going to be closing airports between 2020 and 2029, except for Heathrow, Glasgow, and Belfast. Yeah, and then more after that. It's and they're going to cut beef and lamb consumption, and then between 2030 and 2049, it will be phased out. So yeah, they definitely want to control you, and they definitely want to just make sure that whatever little bit of enjoyment you have in life really truly doesn't happen, while they continue to have all the enjoyment in the world. And they're serious about this. Okay, this isn't right, that enforcement, including drones. Okay, I mean, they'll have a drone just fly up to your car and put a boot on the side. It's going to be very ugly, people. And the scary thing is that all the people that are crying out there for solutions, they just won't allow solutions. And now, of course, you can't get any press to state that, and you can't get anybody to show what all these frauds are, including the press not doing their job. But here, I've played this before, Project Veritas. Listen to them about what we must do about tyranny.
And, we're looking also for whistleblowers who are working in big pharma, or whistleblowers working in health agencies, government health agencies. We're seeing, this avalanche of mandates and unconstitutional orders taking place across the country. People are reaching out to us desperately, asking for help. How can they, keep their job? How can they, avoid certain fines or all sorts of punishment if they don't want to take the vaccine, for example, or the mask mandates? It's truly frightening. And we encourage anyone with information in those institutions, be it health agencies or big pharma, to come forward to us and help save our country.
And help save our country. Except when you try to get Project Veritas to save your country and the world from the tyranny that is the climate lockdowns that are coming. This is December 29th, 2021. February 6th, 2022. Just stop calling us. Yeah, valid tips. I can expose the whole entire environmental industry, presidents, White Houses, the United Nations, celebrities, environmental organizations, environmental voices, everybody. But it's not valid tips. You know why? Because regardless of Project Veritas fraudulently saying they expose everyone, fraudulently saying they're about the truth, the one truth, fraudulently saying they don't have an agenda, the environment is clearly not their agenda. So yes, just get a life. And then this same horrendous embarrassment to the human race who left me these messages, left me this phone message.
Wednesday, March 2nd at 6:31 a.m.
From this number.
914653612. Duration 49 seconds.
Hi, Eileen. It's Project Veritas. I think you need to change your greeting on your voicemail to say, get a life, because you don't have a life. Stop calling Project Veritas. No one is even listening to your messages. I see your phone number popping up and I delete the message. So you're wasting your time, okay? I envision you as this fat, ugly, miserable woman. And that's what you portray when you call and waste our time. People that actually have a life give us some very great tips. And we are on top of corruption and fraud, and we are doing everything that you guys don't have the balls to do. So stop calling.
End of message. To erase this message, press 7.
Out because it wasn't fit for videos, and I don't have the balls. Oh, okay. I'm only begging them, and she's just why is she just a lunatic here? Because she knows she's not doing the right thing. She's just a horrible woman. And even though Project Veritas chases down people in the streets, remember Charlie Chester? And they chased him in the street. Are you still employed? And they chase all his coworkers. Are you still employed? Is Charlie still employed? You know, Project Veritas, even though they make everybody answer to them, will not answer about why they won't expose this. They will not answer who this horrendous embarrassment to humanity is, and if she's still employed. She voluntarily sent that message out. She didn't get caught like Charlie Chester, just, talking to a hidden camera. No, she made that phone call. They probably all high-fived her, maybe bought her lunch. I don't know. But Project Veritas will not answer. They don't answer questions. James O'Keefe, God himself, the man who has appointed himself God himself, doesn't answer questions. He just demands you answer them. Would you be still employed if you left that message for somebody on behalf of your company? No, you wouldn't be. But, I keep trying to get the solutions the world needs implemented. So, again, today, May 2nd at 7:15 p.m., this is the same email I sent to Mike, but I resent it. Michael Moore, who just said we need solutions. We need a new environmental leader immediately. We need to change course. And Brian Eno, he's going to get all the musicians to, be the solution and donate money. And he's going to, give money to solutions, except it's almost 2 weeks later, and I have not heard from Brian. I might have a heart attack and just keel over out of shock and surprise if he did call, but I will be pleasantly surprised. So I keep trying, people, And in the meantime, they are all setting you up for the coming lockdowns, and the enforcement is going to be things that Americans just can't even fathom. So stay tuned, people.